Hello everyone. Today I will be reading Illegal Adoption Papers, written by Lawrence Happens to Be My Husband on AO3. Uh, this fic is the first part of the series Family is 8 villains and their illegal vigilante son. There are currently 2 parts in this series. I will also be reading the second part, so it will be up in the next few days as well. There are no archive warnings. This is a genfic. There's no warning I can think of, so everything should be good here. Summary. And if I don't comply? Todoroki asks, staring the leader dead in the eyes. The kid hasn't tried to make a break for it yet, but his restraints are tight enough that he can't move. Then you can't leave, Tomura replies. We can do this all day. He mentally curses Dabi, who said that if he lays a finger on the boy, he'll burn down the whole warehouse. Now the most he can do is leave the kid tied up for a while, and that'll probably interfere with movie night. Damn him. In that case, I wish to stay. The boy turns to Magnet, suddenly back to charming middle schooler mode. Am I able to have a peanut butter sandwich? Father never lets me eat unhealthy food. Or the League of Villains kidnaps a moody middle school Todoroki who doesn't actually want to be sent back home. Kidnap Endeavor's kid, Dabi had said. We can use him for information, Dabi had said. Well, they have the kid, no information, and now Kurogiri is buying peanut butter and white bread because that's all the kid agrees to eat. Kidnapping him was stupidly easy. He doesn't have any friends, at least none who walk him home from school, so it was a simple matter of Mr. Compress swooping in, turning him into a little bead or whatever, and taking him back to the bar. You'd think Endeavor's kid would have some security on him, but Old Man Endeavor was never big on hiring other people to protect him, so maybe the same applies to his kid. Then there was the whole tie the kid up, put special quirk restraints on him, wait for him to wake up business. Toga had suggested torturing him for information. Where does Tomura keep finding all these crazy children? But Dabi had insisted that they all treat him like a guest. Well, insisted might be the wrong word. Threatened to burn them all to a crisp is more accurate. Then the boy woke up and Tomura made a teeny-weeny, very simple request. Tell us Endeavor's weaknesses, and you're free to go, he had said, and the boy just blinked at him. Where am I? I'm asking the questions here. It doesn't matter where you are. Tell us Endeavor's weakness, and you can leave. Do they really need to know Endeavor's weakness? Not especially. Tomura assumed that it's something to do with water, and he's probably right. But now they have a kid in their base who will probably be reported missing soon enough, and he might as well use him. How would I know his weakness? I never worked with him on the field. He rattled his hand chains a little, pursing his lips. Are you going to kill me? He doesn't even look scared. Did we kidnap a robot by mistake? Maybe, Tomura had said, and at the same time that Dabi said no. They exchanged a frustrated look. Dabi's very clearly said, I won't hesitate, bitch. Probably not, Tomura settled on. Just give us the information we need and you can go. The boy didn't look as panicked as he should have. He didn't even look uncomfortable in his restraints. And if I don't comply? Todoroki asked, staring Tomura dead in the eyes. He somehow looked both dangerous and bored, even though he's the one in chains. Then you can't leave, he replied, a little annoyed at this point. We can do this all day. He didn't mention that it was movie night, and that it would be nice to be done by 8 so that they could order takeout. He didn't want to show weakness. In that case, I wish to stay. The boy turned to Magna, suddenly back to charming middle schooler mode. Am I able to have a peanut butter sandwich? My father never lets me eat unhealthy food. So now Kurogiri is on a shopping mission. Magnate and Spinner are talking to the boy, and Tomura regrets being born. He doesn't like kids, especially obnoxious brats who won't give him their father's secret weaknesses. Toga's fine because she's useful, but he doubts he can use this brat as anything other than a hostage, and then Dobby would have his head. Nothing is going right. All Tomura wants right now is the kid to be gone and replaced with an ice cream sundae. Stress makes him crave sweets. Kurogiri returns with the ingredients, and Dobby makes the kid a fucking peanut butter sandwich. It would be difficult to eat like this, Todoroki says, turning to Tomura. Can you take my chains off just for a moment? No in hell, Tomura says before Dobby can say anything. You're not sneaky, kid. If you want, Spinner will feed it to you. Why do I have to be the one to do it? Because you didn't do the dishes last night. Now feed the kid and watch your fingers. He looks like a biter. I am not. The kid pipes up. That's what they all say, Tomura replies and turns away from him. Dobby, you're in charge of him since you're so weirdly attached. If he's still here by 8, you're missing the movie to watch him. Sure, Dobby says, unbothered. Twice only ever chooses Disney movies anyway. That's so not true. So what, fucker? They're great. Halfway through the movie, Dobby sticks his head through the doorway. He wants to know if he can watch too, he says. He's never seen a Disney movie before. So what? Tomura says, eyes glued to the screen. Who gives a shit? He's a hostage. He never saw a Disney movie? Magnate gasps. What kind of childhood did he have? Poor baby. Dobby, bring him in. Even I watched this when I was little, Toga chimes in, sucking on a blood pouch. Disney and grisly horror flicks. That explains a lot about you, Mr. Compass says. But I agree, if the boy is properly restrained, he should be able to watch with us. We're the League of Villains, not the League of Savages. He didn't bite me, so I'm fine with him, Spinner says. He's not even really watching the traitor, just playing something on his phone. Tomura isn't sure if he's hearing everyone clearly. So you think that we should entertain the hostage after he gave us no information at all and then made us feed him? Are we a youth shelter? Chill, Shiggy, Dobby says. It's just a movie, and I'll bring his chair here. It's no big deal. It's official. Tomura needs to find a new league to do evil with. He can't meet any of these traitors' eyes. Fine, bring him. Who gives a shit? After all, let's adopt a basket full of cats from a kill shelter and then help old ladies cross the street. Ooh, kitties! Toga says, although her definition of ooh, kitties probably involves a lot more blood than normal. I like cats, not as much as dogs. Twice adds, and Spinner mentioned that he's allergic to cat hair, but if they get those special hairless cats, then he'd be totally be down. In the meantime, Dobby drags a kid's chair in with Magnus' help, and puts him right next to Tomura's spot at the corner of the couch. Just to be clear, kid, he mutters, looking over at his stupid middle school face, you're not in the league or anything. You're a hostage. Even if everyone else is convinced otherwise, Tomura won't let the kid just sit back and relax while risking all of their lives. I understand, Todoroki says, perfectly neutral. He then turns to Toga and whispers, Why is the girl on the boat? Where is she going? And suddenly, the whole lot of them is trying to explain the plot of Moana to him at once. A day passes, and Tomura gets no new information from the hostage. He does get information about the hostage, however, not that he ever asked for it. The other members of the league seem enamored by the boy. Shigaraki, did you know he never tried chocolate before? Spinner says to him one day while they're playing some sort of fighting game. You should have seen his face when he tried it. It was hilarious. Great. Who cares? Tomura replies, punching more aggressively in the game. Apparently, his favorite food is cold soba. Kurogiri mentions when he's in the kitchen. I obtained a package of soba noodles from the stores. He seems to enjoy eating them, although it is difficult with the restraints. It doesn't matter what his favorite food is, he'll eat what we give him. Tomura snaps, disintegrating his cup of water by mistake. Then he has to take 5 minutes to wipe up the mess, and he's in an even worse mood than before. Shoto wants to know if he can sleep on the ground since it's hard for him to sleep sitting up, Dabi says, and that's when Tomura snaps. Why are you calling him Shoto? Since when do you call him Shoto? You can either call him the hostage or the brat or Todoroki if you're feeling nice, but not Shoto. He's not your friend. Damn, man, calm down, Dabi says, putting his hands up. He doesn't like being called Todoroki because it reminds him of his dad. Be respectful. Are you respectful of all the people you burn? Tomura grumbles, and Dabi lights the edge of his hoodie on fire in response, which he douses with a scowl. So I'm the only sane one here. Fine, I can live with that if they want to be soft on the kid, so be it. A week passes and the kid is officially missing on the news. Endeavor looks pissed as hell, but he always looks pissed, so it's not that big of a deal. This would all be so easy if you'd just tell us the weakness, he groans, craning his neck to look at the restrained boy, who Dabi placed on a kitchen chair, because it's more comfortable. I already told you if he has a weakness, I do not know it, Todoroki replies. Also, I'm quite comfortable here. I think I would prefer to stay. Bullshit! He gestures to the screen where Endeavor is now shouting directly at the camera. Don't you want to go home to Daddy, dearest? He'll kill 100 reporters to find you. If he finds me, I'm also going to be in trouble. He will kill you guys immediately, but I will be punished for days for being weak. He pauses, grimaces. I have an itch on my head. Good. Tomura isn't going to sink to the level of head scratcher in his own fucking base. The kid's probably lying about what Endeavor would do to him anyway, just trying to make him soft like the rest of them so he can make a break for it when his back is turned. It's itchy. He's now banging his head against the back of his chair, probably trying to scratch it himself. If you won't scratch it, can you bring Dabi or Magna, please? They always help me when my head itches. Tomura is not about to go fetch Dabi so he can scratch the brat's head. He stands up, looping his pinky fingers through the special half gloves that let him touch things without destroying them. Alright, brat, I'll scratch your head, but if you tell anyone here about it, I'll let Toga suck you dry. The brat still doesn't look scared. Thank you. And yeah, Shigaraki Tomura proceeded to scratch a 12-year-old's head, the 12-year-old son of the number 2 hero, one of his worst enemies. Whatever his life has come at the age of 18, he doesn't like it. Did Todoroki talk to any of you guys about Endeavor? He asks one day after the rat falls asleep. The rest of the league exchange a look, which instantly makes him wary. What? What did he say? He talks about his training, but it sounds rather excessive to me, Mr. Compress says uneasily. He wakes up at 5 every morning, trains until he has to go to school, and then trains again until 10 at night when he gets home. He's not allowed to see any of his siblings either, Magna adds, and Dabi physically smokes from his hand. And he doesn't know where his mother is, but he can't see her at all. And he slaps him, Toga exclaims, just for not doing well in training. How did you hear all of this? Tomura has to know. Did you interrogate him without telling me? We just hung around him a bunch and he told us, Spinner says. I think he's more comfortable around us now and that's why he's talking more.
He's not supposed to be comfortable, he hisses. Since when do we care about his fucking comfort?
We're keeping him, right?
Like idiots?
Twice says.
So we have to take care of him. Fuck his dad, let's kill Endeavor.
I second that, Dabi says, putting his head on Twice's shoulder. If we're going to watch him, then we should be better family than Endeavor anyway. Pick your battles, Shiggy. At no point does anyone seem to remember why they kidnapped this kid in the first place. Hell, they don't even sound like villains at this point, but Tomura isn't about to start advocating for child abuse, especially since everyone else in the league now thinks of this kid as theirs.
Alright, you can all be chummy with him, he concedes, but I'm not going to start spoiling him like the rest of you. Keep him away from me.
Sure, whatever, Dobby says. Does that mean we can take off his restraints?
Fuck no, don't even try it.
As is alarmingly becoming the norm, nobody listens to him. Tomura catches Todoroki eating soba on the couch with Spinner and Dobby, watching them play video games, no restraints in sight.
How do you make him do the special move?
He asks, and Dobby hands him the controller, showing him the right buttons to push. Spinner even goes easy on him, which he never does for anyone, not even Toga. It's his first time, Shigaraki, he explains later to a very irate Tomura. All he does all day at home is train and eat and sleep. As soon as he starts getting good, though, I won't hold back.
Mm-hmm,
Tomura says, wondering when this became his life.
when he freezes you into a cube of ice and burns Dobby to death, I'll laugh at both of your corpses.
Twice continues to show him different Disney movies, which apparently Todoroki enjoys.
He likes Mulan just like me. What a copycat!
He relays to Tomura. He doesn't sing along to any of the songs, but I heard him humming during lunch.
How annoying!
Great, Tomura says, infinite patience wearing thin. Even Toga, under the guidance of Magne, nothing good ever comes from leaving a minor with Toga, grows to love him as her own plaything.
Look, Shiggy, he let me do his hair,
she says, pointing to her handiwork of assorted pins and clips. Todoroki doesn't look angry about any of it, but maybe a little uncomfortable.
Leave the kid alone, Toga,
he says, because he knows the brat won't speak up for himself. He barely speaks up at all, looking to Dobby or Magne when he wants to say something to the group of them. Like, alright, Magne's fine, but Dobby? That just feels like a personal insult, and the flaming shithead eats it right up.
Aw, but Shiggy, look how cute he looks.
Toga pouts, but sighs and starts taking the hairpins out at his stare.
You never let me have any fun. If you want fun, go kill some birds or something,
Tomura says, sending her off. He then turns to the kid who, besides for the fact that his hair is standing up everywhere, looks basically alright. Alright meaning his face has no emotions, per usual.
You good, Todoroki?
Yes, the kid says, touching his hair. It didn't hurt. My sister used to put hairpins on me when we were younger. It reminds me of that.
What the fuck am I supposed to do with that information? Okay.
Tomura turns to leave and the kid says, "Thank you," in a soft voice.
Fuck him for warning my heart. No problem, he replies,
and walks out of the room faster. No need to spend any more time around the little gremlin and his emotion manipulation. Todoroki finally gets his own bed, a mattress on the floor of the living room. Tomura was originally very against it for the rational reason that he could definitely make a run for it in the middle of the night if he wanted to. They're basically giving him complete autonomy to do what he wishes. Be realistic, Shigaraki, Mr. Compress says. Do you really believe that he's still trying to run away? To my knowledge, he never wanted to run away in the first place.
I guess. All of this talk about the kid gives Tomura a headache. Whatever, put him in the living room. We don't have any extra space.
So Todoroki sleeps alone, and he doesn't try to run away or murder any of them while he sleeps. He does talk in his sleep, however, which is something Tomura finds out while getting a glass of water in the middle of the night. Toya, the boy mumbles, hugging a pillow to his chest. Come here. Something about the dream must be upsetting him, because the pillow looks about half frozen already. If he stays asleep, he might encase the whole base in ice. Tomura thinks about waking someone else up to deal with it, decides fuck it. He's not scared of a sleepy 12-year-old. He nudges him awake with his foot, waiting for him to open his eyes.
What were you dreaming about, kid?
He asks, sitting on the arm of the couch. Todoroki blinks at him, rubbing his eyes.
Who's Toya?
I was dreaming about Toya leaving again, he says quietly. You don't call him Toya, though. You call him Dabi, and he says I should call him that, too. Tomura almost falls from his seat.
Dabi is your brother?
He is going to get so much shit in the morning. Don't be mad at him, the kid says and rolls over on his mattress. He didn't want to leave. Father made him. Tomura's priorities are now 1. Make sure the building doesn't burn down / freeze over. 2. Get out of this very uncomfortable conversation.
Do you want to sleep in Dabi's room then? He asks. Since you're brothers and all, maybe you won't have nightmares then.
It wasn't a nightmare, Todoroki says, a touch defensively. He is a 12-year-old after all. But yes, if he lets me.
Sure he will,
Tomura says and starts dragging his mattress to the room over.
Make sure not to wake him up. I want to surprise him in the morning.
You won't kick him out too, will you, now that you know who he is? With all of the connections between Todoroki and Dabi, Tomura had almost forgotten that makes Dabi Endeavor's fucking son.
Nah, he decides. I'll let him stay. I'm just sticking him on dish duty forever for not telling any of us this.
Okay. For the first time in about 3 weeks, he sees what could be a hint of a smile on Todoroki's face. Thank you.
Shut up. I didn't do anything,
Tomura says sourly, and leaves him to fall back asleep. Then he pauses in the doorway and whispers,
Did I never really do all that shit to you? Make you train all day and beat you up if you didn't do well?
Todoroki grimaces. Yes, I try not to think about it now that I'm not around him anymore. Time for an inspirational bonding moment.
Parents sometimes suck,
he says slowly. He doesn't remember his at all, but if he concentrates hard enough, he can remember burning hatred towards them for whatever reason.
Doesn't mean you suck. Fuck Endeavor.
Todoroki agrees and lays back down on his mattress. Good night, Shiggy. That moment is ruined.
Who told you to call me that?
That's what Toya calls you, Todoroki blinks innocently. I thought it was your name.
Jesus fuck, I'll kill him. It's Shigaraki.
Was that? Now Dabi's stirring, and 3 is a crowd, so Tomura storms out calling,
There's your brother, Toya. He's roaming with you now. Night.
He needs a better league. He needs new friends. Shoto continues to settle into league life. Dabi is determined not to make a villain out of him since there are enough murderers in the family already. But he does help him practice with his quirks sometimes in the alley nearby. Shoto, originally still hesitant to use his left side, warmed up to it when Dabi pointed out that they match. I still want to help people, but I don't think I want to be a hero like Father, he says resolutely. I think I'll try to be a vigilante. You will have time to decide, Shoto, Kurogiri says. For now, you just sit back, relax, and defeat Spinner at his own video games.
I already told you it was a fluke,
Spinner insists, and Shoto half smiles. They're building up to a real one, and they're getting pretty close. Things don't really change after the big reveal of Dobby being Toya, although things make more sense now, like why he was so attached to Shoto almost immediately after they got him, and why they kidnapped him in the first place. I was planning on going back for him as soon as Endeavor stopped being a problem, he explains, waving to Shoto, who's currently reading on the couch with Kurogiri. And I joined the league and thought, why not just get him now?
You could have been honest, you know,
Tomura grumbled.
we would have gotten him anyway.
We're villains. The moral lines are always shifting. He has a point, but Tomura will never admit it. Bad for his ego.
You still used me,
He says accusingly.
You used me to get your brother away from Endeavor.
You have a soft heart, Shiggy, Dabi admits. I used that. And what's one more league member to you?
Nothing, I guess.
He turns away from the arguably adorable scene, grimacing a little.
But if you try and bring in any more brats, I swear I will disintegrate you in your sleep. This isn't a home for wayward kids.
Yeah, right. Sure. Dabi doesn't look afraid of him at all. That must be where the brat gets it from. I'm making chili for dinner.
Make sure not to make it too spicy. The kid doesn't eat spicy things,
Tomura says. Dabi smirks, walking out of the room. The "you've gone soft, boss" is implied, and Tomura can't refute it for once. I might be going soft after all. But the thought doesn't butter him too much. And there we go. This is the end of the fic. I hope everyone enjoyed it. This fic, again, is one I really think is absolutely hilarious. I've read it multiple times late at night, giggling the whole way. The second part will be up in the next few days. I hope everyone enjoys and has a good night.